Hi guys, Always Dizzy here again. Well, I guess Always Dizzy is my lead chess name. My Twitch handle is Modulus the Gamer. I'm here with another beginner chess game analysis video. This time it's someone was posting on the chess subreddit asking for some feedback on his games. He posted 2 links, but I'm just going to look at one of his games here. Because I took a quick peek at the first link he posted, and it looks like he played quite well. So I think I didn't look at the second game yet. Before I start, I just want to mention that I'm not a titled player. I'm not a grandmaster or international master. I'm about 1950 on all the time controls on Elite Chess, so that should give you an idea of my strength. So take what I say with don't take it as gospel, right? I'm not a titled player. Okay, but I like what this user WhateverWhateverson is doing. He's playing mostly classical games and tactics, and keep that up. Keep doing that. That's really good. The longer time control, the better, and tactics are always useful as well. So good job on that. And I'm going to take a look at the game here. So our hero is white. He's rated 1352. This is a classical game, 15 and 15. And his opponent is 1451. Okay, so I'm going to do this with the engine off. I may refer to it from time to time, but right now I'm going to keep it off. Okay. Oh, a d4 player. So I cannot give too much advice in the opening because I'm not a d4 player. But I will try to do what I can if anything stands out. Okay, well, this helps because we transpose into the French. Okay, he plays the advanced variation. I don't play the advanced variation myself, so I don't really know the theory here, but I will, again, try to... Okay, well, I'm wondering here, why not simply c3? You know, I mean, again, I don't know the theory here, so it's very possible that bishop d2 is the best move here, but I don't know. c3, we're gaining a tempo on the bishop, and yeah, we're not developing a minor piece, and we are taking a square away from our knight on b1. But usually in the French, you are not casting queenside anyways. You're casting kingside as far as I know. And I think like c3 would be better here. I would play c3. I think this is... It's hard. So the thing about bishop b5 is it's great because you're developing a minor piece. You are clearing the road to castle. The downside, the downside for me is you're going to have to move it again if black responds with a6, and arguably that a6 actually helps black. It's kind of a it's kind of a defensive move and takes away this square from you in the future. So I'm kind of wondering what you're achieving by going here, and then if black were to play like a6, yeah, you can keep this pin, but I think, I mean, maybe like this might be okay, but I think that black has kind of gotten a little bit more of a defensive development here than you, because he kind of got 2 moves out of that. He kind of developed 2 pieces here. Well, a pawn and a bishop. So I'm not sure. That might be a fine move, but personally, I would, if you wanted to develop the bishop, I would probably consider even bishop e2 or bishop d3. Now, maybe one downside to bishop d3 is that black could actually play knight b4. Then you kind of have a cat and the mouse situation. I guess then you could put it back to e2. So I'm curious what Stockfish says here. Yeah, it's saying c3. c3 is such a common type of position in the French. It's also saying a couple of computer moves, which are h4 and a4. And then it's saying bishop e3 or bishop e3 or bishop d3. Yeah, so it is saying this. It is saying bishop d3. So if black comes into here, I think we just. Oh, interesting. So it would, if black does play here, it actually wants to take. Oh, and then probably c3. Yeah, then c3. So we give up the bishop pair, but we white has a bit more space, and we've got two pieces developed, and we get another move after this. So we're ahead in development here. What does it think of your bishop b5? Yeah, it's kind of what I thought. Like it's playable, but it's, if you look at the evaluation right now, it's 1.6 for white. After you play bishop b5, it's kind of about 1.2 or so. You kind of lose about almost a whole half of a pawn with that move. Okay, I'm going to turn off the engine. So it's kind of what I thought. You got to be careful about moves like this. It's not a blunder. It's not even a mistake, but it's those little small things that can add up over time. And again, just to reiterate, why it's not like the best move here is because, excuse me, black can kind of develop with tempo a little bit. Okay, moving on. Yeah, this is f6 is a very common theme in the French. Yeah, let's see how you respond to this pawn break. Take the knight. See that it comes back to haunt you. And I was just about to say this. I was about to say this before, but I thought, nah, I won't bother saying this. I was going to say, oftentimes another reason why playing like the bishop here in front of the knight to pin the knight, well, often why it's not the best move is because you're more likely to end up having to take the knight for various reasons. Even though that's not your original intention is just to like kind of pin it. Certain things happen where, since your bishop is, and it's partly because your bishop is just hanging out here by itself, and it's not defended by anything. So oftentimes, unless you want to waste like a couple, like a tempo or two, you kind of end up taking the knight, and then you're down the minor exchange there. So, and that's kind of, I mean, you ended up doing that here. Now, I'm guessing the reason you did that is because you didn't want to take on f6, but you also didn't want black to take on e5, and so you were trying to remove the defender there so that you could probably, you were probably hoping to like take and then maybe repurpose your knight on f3 to e5, something like that. But yeah, I mean, I totally would not trade your bishop for black's knight. You don't want to be trading the bishop for the knight unless you have a good reason. So what would I play here? I'm not sure. Maybe just rook e1. Rook e1, possibly bishop f4, because we can always bring it back to g3. We have a pretty good solid defensive measure here. I'm recovering the e5 square. I may also consider something like c4, possibly. Let's see what Stockfish says here. Yeah, it's liking, yeah, like c4 is the best move, and rook e1. Although it says bishop takes is not the worst move. It's saying it's giving it a 1.3. But yeah, it's liking c4 and rook e1 as better moves. So I'm going to just turn off the engine here. So again, just, you know, generally you don't want to be trading bishop for the knight. Now you could argue that this would give black's bishop, like black's bishop is not so great here, but it's not good where it is right now. either. And your bishop is free. Your bishop is great. So I wouldn't trade there. Okay, moving on. I don't want to make this too long. Yeah, knight c3. I mean, it's an okay move, but a lot of these are like really small things, but knight c3 again, I think it's okay, but what I don't like about this move is that what is your knight actually doing here? Yes, it's developed. Yes, your rook has mobility now, but this knight really isn't hitting anything important. You could argue that these squares are important, and they are, but they're not important right now, and they're not going to be important anytime soon. Like what I'm trying to say is there's not a battle. There's nothing. This isn't going to break open anytime soon. So the way I look at it is that you're actually blocking your c-pawn and your bishop now, and you don't really have many great squares to go to. That being said, maybe your plan is to repurpose the knight to g3. Then that seems like a good idea. I think that's a common theme in the French as well. Often you do it from knight d2 and then move the other knight this way, but it ends up the same way. Anyways, as I say, knight c3. I don't think it's a terrible move, but for me, again, if I didn't play knight c3 myself, possibly rook e1. Yeah, I mean, I guess you do need to develop the knight, but c3 is such a common theme, as I mentioned before, but the problem with that is, like, again, your knight is not really being developed. So maybe knight c3 is not so bad, but maybe rook e1, or another idea is b3, c4, getting a pawn break there. Again, let's take a look at Stockfish to see what it says here. Yeah, it likes rook e1 as the best move. And knight c3 is kind of fourth down on the list, or fourth or fifth, but pretty equal. So I'm really kind of nitpicking here. Rook e1 is just a little bit better, about 20 or 30 centipawns better. Okay, but you're playing you're playing quite well. That's why I'm trying to really nitpick. a4. Interesting. Yeah, I'm just thinking of what I would like to do better. I don't know. I don't think it's a terrible move. I don't think it's a bad move. I don't know. I'm having trouble myself deciding what I would like to do in this position. I don't know. I keep looking back at rook e1 as a possible idea. This bishop is really doing nothing as well. So again, possibly bishop f4. Or actually, I kind of like knight e2 here. Yeah, I'm kind of liking knight e2 with some ideas in the future of rook c1 and c4 pawn break, or it also helps. We have this really strong f4 square, and we can also repurpose it to g3, as I explained earlier. So I kind of like, knight e2. Knight e2, rook e1, and then try to maybe rook c1, maybe even a b3, c4, or c4 right away. Again, let's take a peek at Stockfish. Yeah, it likes knight e2. It likes my idea. Yeah, and it actually really loves a4 too. It's actually giving it as a top move, and then it's saying a4 first, followed by knight e2. So it really likes a4. So good job there. Probably not a move I would have played here, but as when I saw it, I thought it was interesting. I didn't think it's a terrible move. Okay, moving on. b3. Okay. Ooh, g5. Black is all in here. Don't you just win a pawn if you take? It just seems like a blunder. I think you can just take here. Yeah, that just, I mean, if he pushes again, then you take, and you're up at least a pawn here. So let's see what you did. Oh no, you didn't take. Yeah, so you played really well up to this point. Why did you play knight b1? I have no, oh, I see. You want to play c4, and I guess that's why you played b3 earlier. Yeah, you played b3 to support c4. So it's a good idea. At least you had a plan here to break through. Although one downside to that is you're going to get a really weak rook pawn. But yeah, you just totally missed this little tactic. So you have to really, like this, when this type of position happens, when a position changes dramatically like this one, for me, like alarm bells go off, and it's like, whoa, there's something dramatic happened, and I check for tactics and everything. So yeah, this just called out to me that you can simply take the pawn, because once you do it, then this is only defended once by a bishop, and it's attacked twice. So very simple mathematical tactic there. Just in case other beginners are watching this, I'll just show it on screen what I'm talking about. But I'm suggesting that you take here, and if he takes with the bishop, you can take either way. I would probably take with the bishop because it's more forcing, and then you can see that you're up a whole pawn, and black's kingside is demolished, and if black takes with the knight, it's the same thing. You just take it and you're up a pawn. Okay, but moving on. So hopefully you take it now because nothing has changed. Ah, you still missed it. Okay, but that often happens. Often if you miss a tactic once, you will often miss it the whole time. Although even so, I'm wondering why you played this, because I really thought you were going to play c4. I thought that was your idea. I'm not sure about your b4 move, what you're trying to accomplish. I'm really not sure what you're trying to do with b4. Because you played b3, then you moved your knight back, and then you played b4. I'm trying to get into your head to figure out what you're trying to do here, but I really don't get it. This is bad for many reasons. I think black can just take here for one thing. But yeah, but I mean, black can also take care of this pawn that's hanging. But I just don't understand what you're trying to accomplish this before. I'm not sure what the idea is there. Very odd. So yeah, I'm not sure why black didn't just take a pawn here. So again, you're still missing this, but as I said before, if you've missed it twice, you're unlikely going to find it. So queen e2, I don't think it's a worse move. I think it's a decent idea because, getting the queen off of the back rank, which is always good. What I don't like about it though is that you're doing it kind of to attack this pawn, but I mean, the pawn is already defended once. It can easily be defended twice. So I mean, the most you can hope to attack it is twice. You know, queen e2, knight c3, but it can, as I just said, it can easily be defended. So I would have rather have seen you. Well, I would prefer you to take this pawn, but I would rather see some type of more active development move. This knight is not doing great on b1, so I would like to see it developed. If you could get it to c5, that would be fantastic. Take a lot of it would only take 3 moves to get there. So for example, if you were to just play if you move this bishop out, and then you can get there here, like this way, you know. Okay, anyways, moving on. So now you can't take here anymore because there's a rook protecting it. Well, maybe you can still take it though. You can't take here because you take here. And if you take as a bishop, yeah, I think you're still up a pawn here. So you could still take it here. Okay, you didn't. Yeah, you're going with this idea again, but this is kind of hope chess. I mean, I'm sure you can calculate that he can defend this easily. But you are developing the knight, so I don't mind that. What I don't like about knight c3 is that you've got this backwards pawn. So that's kind of why I was thinking of you could move the bishop and then move this knight to d2 and then maybe play c3. Then all your pawn chain is all protected, and you've got 2 knights protecting each other. h3. So you're afraid of this, but you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be afraid of this, because if g4, you can just take the knight, and if he takes your knight, then you take his pawn, and you're up. You're up a whole pawn, and you've got a bishop here attacking his rook. You're in a wonderful position. So I can understand why you played h3 as a prophylactic move, but don't just be scared of that. Think of different options, because you do have different options. You don't always have to just defend to the threat directly. You can indirectly respond to it. So consider your options a little bit more. Okay, you finally take this pawn. I'm actually, yeah, I'm just wondering if it's better to take with the knight or the bishop. One nice thing about taking with the knight is then we're actually hitting the e6 square, but I do like taking with the bishop because it's a direct hit. Black has to, we can force another trade here, and we're up material. So I think I do prefer taking with the bishop. First thing that stands out to me is playing queen h5 here, because we're hitting some key points. Trying to think how black would respond. Oh, actually, he's got a bishop on his rook, so he could just defend with the queen if he needed to. It's still worth considering, though. Yeah. Maybe queen e5 looks like another good idea, because we're basically blockading this pawn advance. And black's bishop is terrible here. So black would have to try to initiate a queen trade. Or I guess he could move the knight back as well. I would maybe rook e1 too. So you play rook e1. Okay, that's good. So black is improving his knight. So I think you can just take this now. take. Wait a second. What if he takes back? No, yeah, that should be good, right? I'm a little bit worried about this. But can't I just take here? Oh, yeah, I'm a little bit worried about knight takes here. Like, if you take and then knight takes d4. White still might be better here, though. Then we go. Then can we just go here check? Then that should be winning. Take. Sorry, take check. But then after he moves, I don't know, it's a little fuzzy. Let's see what you did. Yeah, you took, okay. Oh, he didn't even take the pawn. Go here. So you forgot about this rook, unfortunately. I think simply a queen g4 check would have had you doing fine here. Oh man, he didn't take your queen. You guys are falling apart here. Okay, so one thing I just noticed right now, you can't see it on my screen for some reason, but I can see that at this point we are on move 25 and you've got 15 minutes on the clock and your opponent's got 12 minutes. Well, don't worry about your opponent, but you've got 15 minutes on the clock, which means you actually you have more time now than you started with. This is something that I often have to repeat on my streams, but you're playing a 15-minute game with 15-second increment and you're not using that time. You might as well be playing a bullet game. Okay, well, maybe not bullet, but you might as well be playing like a 3-minute game because you're not thinking. And overall you're playing pretty well, but if you're not using the time to think, you need to use your time. That's the whole point of playing a classical game. There's no point to play a classical game if you're not going to think, if you're not going to use your time. There's no point. It's a detriment to you. You should be playing a blitz game. But I don't recommend that. So again, the whole point of classical, the whole point, and the reason why it's the best way to improve is so that you can use your time and think and really calculate and formulate plans. So you got to slow down, man. Okay. So both of you are missing like this queen capture left and right. Although it's possible that black inserted this in as his Russian Zug. Okay, yeah, he may have. Ooh. Well, I don't know. You're in a tough spot here. I'm gonna kind of go quickly beyond this. Man, I can't. Black is having trouble, hey? Trouble finishing you off. If it was me, I'd go check just to try to allow trap, you know. So the idea being, if he takes, then you've got a fork and you're winning the queen for free, and you're actually going to win the game here. Just a little trap. I mean, it's it's a lower rated game. It's kind of a hope chess move, but when you're this far down, you don't have too many chances of winning this game or drawing it. It's probably one of the few times that I would actually allow like a hope chess type move. Yeah. Okay, so in the kind of the second half, you really fell apart. In the first half, you played very well, actually, very well. So just as a quick recap, I'm going to go over the game again really quickly. So first of all, you got to slow down. You cannot end the game with more time than you started with. You got to use all your time. There's no excuse for that. There's no excuse. The only excuse is if you are completely winning. That's the only excuse. I mean, I'm not going to go over every little thing that I mentioned before. I'm just going to try to mention a few things. Yeah, this bishop b5 move was not my favorite move. Again, I wouldn't even call it a mistake, but it's not the strongest move you could have played. You're not really pinning anything because it can easily be covered, and if black had pushed you away, you're kind of giving black some free development. And as I said before, your bishop is just hanging out here by itself. So after bishop d7, oftentimes you either lose a tempo by moving away from that threat, or else you end up taking it and losing the minor exchange. You missed the tactic. It's not here, but it comes soon. Right now, you could have taken this pawn many moves. It's easy to miss tactics like that, but just keep working on your tactics training, and those will become more apparent. The one way that you can find it again is that this g5 was such a dramatic move. That's a real dramatic move. That's like one of the most dramatic moves you can make. So for me, that's red flags, and you really have to consider the position and if there's any tactics or anything like that available. I can see by your clock that you only spent like maybe about 12 seconds here. That's just not acceptable. And this knight b1 move was really strange as well. You're playing too quickly. If you slow down and think, you simply do that, you'll be amazed how much better you play, and you'll gain a lot of rating doing that. Just moving on here. You just got a little bit sloppy here, unfortunately, when you forgot about this pin. So you could have gotten out of it by like queen g4 check, something like that. And yeah. And it's funny that black misses it here too. Although this is an interesting move. Check. But no, I think it's better to just take for black. In hindsight, I actually think taking with the knight is better here, because you are defending this pawn and you're getting this knight closer to your king where it needs to be. And more importantly, but also you're freeing up the C pawn so that it can play C3 to protect these other two pawns. So taking with the knight would have been an option here. Don't just automatically take with the first piece that comes to your mind. The other thing is you're also threatening. Now you're threatening knight g1, the skewer. So it's a quite a good move. Overtaking with the rook. And then just kind of here, there's not really anything you could have done except for this one little trick that I stated. Where was it? Here. I was saying you could play. I mean, it's a hope chess move because black doesn't have to take it, but That's, at this level, I mean, you're completely losing here. It wouldn't be. It'd be worth a shot. Plus, you could still move the knight or the rook. Well, I guess you couldn't because then it's going to be attacked. But I would play this even if it was an over the board game here. I think I would play that because white is just completely dead here, anyways. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, kind of a long video, but hopefully that helped you. Hopefully that helps you and anyone else watching. Hopefully you gained something from this video. Again, if anyone would like me to review them, just send me a message and I will try to add it to the queue. And yeah, thanks for watching.